Coming to you from beautiful Death Mountain in the land of Hyrule, this is the Link to the Past Randomizer daily race here on Speed Gaming. We have an exciting race for you today, a very unique format introduced in the new version of the randomizer. Open 5-7 defeat Ganon. We'll explain that in a moment. But in the meantime, first of all, I'm Cyclone, joined by Tracy M. How are you doing today, Tracy?
I'm doing fantastic, ready to commentate this cool race. All right, we're going to see the 5-7 thing, so let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, 5-7, let's explain it this way. Aghanim's Tower is available earlier than usual. So after the runners have 5 crystals, they can proceed into Aghanim's Tower if they feel they need to look for progression. There's 22 chests in there, so there's a good chance that they're going to find some progression there. What that means is that they will be able to go to Aghanim's Tower, Ganon's Tower, defeat Aghanim at the top, Aghanim 2, and then they may have to go back to other crystal dungeons to then complete crystal dungeons using items found in Ganon's Tower. So once, yes, chat's already calling me out on that. Thank you, chat. So once they then get all 7 crystals, they can go defeat Ganon as usual. Now here's where things get interesting. Because progression can be in Ganon's Tower, we could have a situation where, let's say, the pedestal happens to be required, but a pendant dungeon requires the item from Ganon's Tower to complete it. Let's pick an example. Let's say the Book of Medora is in Ganon's Tower, which I believe happened last night, I was told, on a different format. So let's say the Book of Medora is in Ganon's Tower. That Book of Medora is needed to get into Desert Palace, and the mirror is on the pedestal to get you into, say, Swamp Palace. This could be a situation where Ganon's Tower leads to a pedestal, which leads to being able to finish the crystals. Anything like that could happen, and that is the dream in this kind of format. As we are now underway, we're getting 5 rupees in the Sanctuary.
Well, and, that's pretty... You're going with the nasty idea just to troll these guys, hoping it isn't that bad. But I will point out, it's not just 22 chests. We actually have another 5, because now the big chest could have something, as could any of those 4 chests up towards the top. So there's a whole lot of weird things that can happen.
That is correct. I'm used to 22 for the big key game, obviously. Yes, there are those 5 additional chests, including the big chest. So 27 potential items they can get out of Aghanim's Tower. We'll still play the big key game, obviously, for the 22, but we could have a lot of options for progression. That's about a quarter of the chests in the game where progression can be.
Okay, just a piece of heart in the Uncle Cave so far, and a sword from Uncle himself. So as you're already getting a sword.
I don't believe we had a sword assured. I don't believe we had Uncle assured on. I think it was random. So the sword being there is, the sword being there just happened to be there.
Container heart at Lumberjack, so hopefully that means no Aga.
We will find out in due time, of course. But we have a sword, so this is already not looking good. A lamp, another sword that's on the table.
And we've seen a bottle over on 1-up screen, so it'll be nice. He'll be able to check the sick kid right away.
Oh, I like how 1-up is using the Fate Master Sword to kill an enemy in the Lost Woods.
Okay, and I like what Azure's doing. He got that sword, so it makes the front of escape pretty easy to do. So he's just going to go straight up and do that. And this is going to be an unusual run for Azure. So those of you that know him, he's been working really hard on the new low percent category that only gets 3 hearts, uses some weird tech to delete heart containers when you defeat a boss. And so he's going to have, like, more than 3 hearts, and that's not normal for him anymore.
Yeah, he's not going to be used to fighting with that much health. He's going to be, he might have the muscle memory to avoid damage in places where he can take damage boost in order to progress. So we'll see if that actually affects how he does the run. Yeah, we're fine. There's the Book of Medora I was just talking about. At least that's not in G2 today.
Yeah, well, and in Azure's case, we just hope he doesn't accidentally delete an important item after a boss fight.
We have the red boomerang. I didn't catch that map trick, but I think I saw a crystal at Eastern Palace. Actually, it looks like Tracker already has it. Crystal at Eastern Palace, 5-6 crystal at Tower Hera, and a pendant at Desert Palace.
Yeah, and shout outs to our trackers, Math Girl and Link to the Past Ken. They do the dirty work, we get the fun work, so.
And as there is, I didn't see what the other items in Hyrule Castle basement are, but we do see some bombs in Zelda's chest there.
Yeah,
so that's not worth the trip.
But he doesn't have to worry about it later, so that's a good thing.
Yep. 10 arrows in the back of the well. First chest, I don't think had anything. There's 20 rupees, 5 rupees. Ugh. Financial wealth.
I haven't seen anything interesting in Kakariko. Meanwhile, Frostbite gonna go check Agon. Not Agon.
I will crack you. I will crack you. The Book of Adora is interesting. That opens Desert Palace.
Yes, absolutely, and possibly two tablets later on. 300 rupees in Sarasala's closet, so at least that'll give them Zora money once the runners get a chance to go over there, or get them closer to Zora money, I should say.
And the Chicken Hut has the cane of Burna. So, Brian, if you're looking for your cane, we found it. It's in Kakariko Village today. Please check in the Chicken Hut.
Yeah, a nice luxury item, not something you really particularly need. But I particularly like it when runners use that to kill blind. That's a fun fight to watch. And there's that sick kid. Oh, just a heart container.
Comment in chat that might be a good idea to check the pedestal now because it could be required. It's a good way to make sure that whether you need to come back to it later. I don't disagree with that strategy, but a lot of runners will consider looking at Skull Woods as the time to check it because they can mirror back from Skull Woods. It's just a quick walk up from there, so it's less time wasted from that perspective when they're going to be going around collecting a lot of chests anyway. Yeah,
that's especially good. Yeah, if you have that mirror, it's a really good time to check.
I would just look for my peace of mind personally, but that's just me.
Okay, looks like 1UP is going to head towards the... Ooh, looks like... Is he going to Agina? No, he's just going to do the normal South Shore check. So first we're going to get the flooded item and the item in this little temple thing. I don't know if you guys have a name for that.
I think it's called the Moat.
Oh, there's another sword. So we're already on Master Sword. All we need is that lamp, and we're going to have Aga in logic.
Here's saying he got his cane of Burner, by the way. So he's now has the Invincibility Cane. We also have the big key already from Frostbite on the second chest in Eastern Palace, so he will be checking the big chest as he walks by.
Yeah, the no bow, so you can't finish it. And in the dark room that has the item, not in logic, although almost everyone can do that dark room, so I fully expect him to go over there.
I've even done that dark room, and I'm
same.
Scrub. I'm a scrub.
A little bit more difficult that he doesn't have a sword, but I'm sure he'll still be able to do it.
50 rupees in the big chest, and he's not going to bother with the dark room.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see if he if he got neither the map nor the compass, then there's no point in going over there because it'll just be a map or compass.
I missed the first chest myself, but that would be correct logic.
Okay, 1UP getting... I guess that's his Master Sword.
That looks like it would be. Where was the second one? I didn't even see the second one.
So the first one, there's one at Uncle.
Right.
And one at the I forget whether it was the flooded spot or the chest.
Oh,
it was one of those.
Flooded spot. Cool.
Yep.
There it is, right there, actually. Frostbite just picked it up. That was his first sword. And the sick kid, wow, he just ripped the heart out of his chest. That explains why he's sick.
Yeah. Okay, so now everybody's just kind of repeating everybody else's checks. Right now we have Ice Rod Cave can still be checked. Agina can still be checked. Not a whole lot else. We're getting to we're starting to run out of locations here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think Hitsune is doing a pedestal check. We're gonna get to know it's there right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, get your pedestal hype in chat. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Just couch cash. Wow, wow, wow.
Well, that'll be a nice weight off Hitsuyan's mind. Doesn't have to worry about pedestal. The worst is when it's something like the shovel.
Well,
or a mushroom, or, fill in the blank fetch quest item.
But the dream is dead. We're not going to have a required pedestal today, and none of those scenarios like what I cooked up can happen. We do have a flute at the mini Moldorm cave, so named because all the mini Moldorms. That's technically in our commentator form. That's our bacon blade right now. That's the third sword we found.
Yeah, less than 8 minutes in, and we've seen 3 swords. And Frostbite not continuing over to the ice rod cave.
No lamp yet, so we don't know if Aghanim is required yet. We will find that out in due time, but Death Mountain is now open. The lamp could be on Death Mountain. And just money and piece of heart in the back of Sahasraral's closet. I think we saw that earlier on Frostbite's side. Just saw it at Hitsuyan's. And now I have discussion of people saying why they're scrubs.
So I hope 1UP wasn't trying for a death warp because the fairy just kind of got in the way of that.
Given where he is, I'm going to say he was trying for a death warp.
That's the worst.
No, the worst is when you pick up a piece of heart or refills your health and you're trying to death warp.
Yep, that's a bad one too.
I've seen a clip of that. That's funny.
Yeah, Azure about to get his tempered sword.
And Frostbite gonna take the sick kid's heart away from him.
Okay, Azure also not going to the ice rod check. Looks like Hitsuyan. Is he going over to Agina? Yes.
Yeah, but I think he wants to go to Desert Palace. Obviously, he does have the book. He can get in. So this will give us some insight as to whether boots are required. If the small key is on the torch and we need access to that to get the big key or as such, or if the big key itself is even on the torch, that's good information to have. I don't think the ledge was anything useful if I saw that correctly.
Nah, it was arrows, and he did not go check Agina on his way.
Yeah, I suspect the Desert Palace was first. He may go back for Agina at the end. We will find out.
And he can't full clear it, no fire source, no gloves, unless both those items are in here, which I'm not even sure is possible with the way the layouts could be.
We didn't get to hear it, but we had near sync flute playings from Frostbite and Asder on the left. So both are releasing the bird, and Asder is using immediate transportation to head over to the desert. And Frostbite apparently changed his mind and went over to the well. Oh no, he never went there. My mistake.
Okay.
Hitsuyan is taking the back door. He is on the way out.
He's
going to Agina now, as I suspected.
Okay. You don't see a lot of people use that door.
Not very often. Knowing it's there is a good shortcut to get back to Agina, though. There's the compass. I didn't see what was on the torch, but
I'm not sure they looked. I mean, it's got to be a key or the big key. Runners could steal a key from the back of desert and check this right side if they want to. That would not be in logic, though. So the items it could give you, it could give you something good, but it won't be any of the things that are right now progression.
I saw a comment in chat saying, Aga time, find that lamp. I was going to say, we have not seen the lamp yet, so we have not concluded that Aghanim is required yet. Looks like Desert Palace might not be clearable. Both Hitsuyan and Asder did leave. Asder now getting the Agina item, which you just saw on Hitsuyan's side. I missed what it was. We'll get another look at it here. 1UP 40 is going through Eastern Palace at this time. Again, unable to complete it without the bow. I think we have to go Death Mountain for progress. There's our Moon Pearl, by the way.
Moon Pearl.
That was the Moon Pearl.
All we need is that lamp.
So Frostbite's now going to get his Moon Pearl, and I think he's going to have to head over to Death Mountain. I think that's the only play we have from here.
Okay, Azur's going to check the Ice Rod Cave for us.
Now they can choose to use fake flippers. Now they have the Moon Pearl to get into the waterfall and also get the Zora item if they have the 500 rupees. Since they don't have the 500 rupees yet, I don't think they're going to rush that, but it is an option.
Yeah, maybe it's like, see Frostbite. He's got 460. He's getting close to that magic. Actually, three of the four have a pretty decent amount of rupees. Azure way behind at 132. And just a heart container at the Ice Rod Cave, so nothing.
I think there's a 300 rupee chest he hasn't opened yet somewhere.
Yeah, I believe that
must be the case.
Yeah, in Sarasala's closet. I believe that's where that was. And he's going to head that way right now.
Yep, so he's going to fill up quickly.
Oh, he's changed his mind. He's going to go Death Mountain.
In my opinion, that is the better play. There's a lot more checks there. He knows he can't finish Eastern Palace. He might be thinking of trying to combine Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness in one play once he has the mirror. We'll see how that plays out, if that works out to his favor.
Yeah, that's nice if you can do that. Looks like he's just going to go rescue the old man. That gives you the save quit spot. I honestly think this is the most powerful dark room you can do. It's not too hard a dark room you can do, but it gives you that save quit spot, which is really nice even if you don't have the lamp. Okay, looks like 1UP is going for the dark room big key, vanilla big key chest. So we'll actually get to see what that is. Oh, and a bow from the old man. So there's payoff for you. I wonder if
that
Azure...
is...
That is huge.
That is huge.
Clear. He can full clear Eastern right now if he wants to.
That is huge. So he may decide to go back to Eastern Palace just to get it off the board. It is a crystal. We do need it. And Aghanim Tower could have progression. So it could be... It could be required, if not... Like, potentially necessary and potentially required. They may have to do that just to get to progression at Aghanim's Tower. It may pay off to go do that right now.
Okay, just a piece of heart on Spectacle Rock. We don't need to worry about that. And, ooh,
Flippers!
Yeah, he was about to save and quit, and he said, no, I want that.
I think that's worth the trek around. Let's get that.
But he'll save and quit after those flippers. Now he's got lots of choices. This is kind of what the seed last night did to us before we got to Aga. Every time we got to, oh, there's only one more check left. It's got to be, it's going to be Aga or it's going to be this item. And then we'd check the item and it would open up like 2 or 3 other checks.
And I remember you mentioned to me last night was an Aga and Ped seed. So
it was an Aga and Ped.
We're not getting that lucky today, but let's just hope the progression is in Ganon's Tower, because that would be what we want to see here.
Yep, Azure is going to go straight over to Eastern, so it turned out to be a really good play for him to do this later instead of doing it right when he first got in here, this area.
And he got the one item he needed right up on Death Mountain, and no one else, I think, has been up there yet.
Yeah, they'll be getting there pretty soon. They're running out of places to go.
Now, that's something we have to keep in mind, too. Because the old man gave him the bow, it is technically out of logic. They're not supposed to have the bow yet. So there's still some sort of progression somewhere that does not require Eastern Palace to be cleared.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the lamp show up pretty darn soon. It may be Zora. I'm trying to think what else is even open to them technically in logic.
I think you might be right. It could be Zora.
Because with the flippers behind Death Mountain, that's not in logic yet.
The boots could be up there. They might get the mirror to go to Tower of Hera, so there are options that King Zora could have today.
Yeah, never mind. Actually,
actually with the flippers, that opens up Waterfall and Hobo.
Yeah, flippers are in logic because they had the flute to get up there. As people correct me in chat.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So 1UP 40 is back in Kakariko, and he's going to go activate music. And with that, the duck is out, and we are going to have him able to now take advantage of transportation. I think Hitsuyin is activating his right now as well, so everyone will have the ability to fly around.
And that's always a nice thing to be able to get to those places with the flute. Just opens things up so nicely. And he's going to go straight to desert.
Gonna get followed by Bat on the way there. And it looks like it might have got off screen. So good for that. No Bat. And he's going to insert himself into Desert Palace and find what I believe was either a small or a big key on a torch, because obviously everyone else has already left.
Yeah, it has to be a key. It has to be some sort of key. Just a question whether it's a small key or a big key.
Absolutely. And also, we have to remember that this may not be required because it is a pendant anyway. We may not even come back here to finish it up anyway. We'll have to see.
Okay, we're actually going to see it now. It is a small key.
That is a small key. So yeah, that may lock items on the right side. And again, the big key could be in there, but we could also have both. Well, actually, no, one of them has to be the big key. One of those two has to be the big key on the right side at this point, I would say, because we know it's not this, and we know it can't be in the big chest.
And so far, nobody's made the play to steal the key to check the right side. Knowing that there's only going to be potentially one item, possibly none, and it's a pendant dungeon. When I'm trying to go through the door.
You'd want to do a save and quit Death Warp if you plan to steal the key. That's the best way to do it in that case. So you can steal the key and then reset out if you find it's nothing useful there.
Yeah,
but
that's
given it's only one item, it's not really worth the play at this point.
Yeah, and that item could be the map, so.
You mean you don't need a map?
No.
Okay.
But 1-Up is about to get his Moon Pearl, so that'll be nice for him. Yeah, and of course, can't steal the key without gloves, so as Chad has pointed out.
Yes. So we are now to the unfortunate person under the bridge here who can't afford things, I guess. Is giving up the one thing he has, which is the Cane of Samaria.
Ooh, that's a nice thing to find. That's no fun to look for the Cane Samaria. So many different places that could be to have that early. That and the Ice Rod's the worst, of course, but the...
Comment in chat, genuine question, why would you not steal the key with Desert Pal Speed and Pendant? That's what we're talking about. It is a pendant. We know the pedestal's not required. The only gamble is whether Land Molus might have something, but we still need the gloves to steal the key, and that's why we can't right now.
Okay, we're going to get our first check of the Waterfall Fairy here. And let's see what we got. We have another bottle and no single arrow. Wah, wah.
A unique item.
There.
A unique item.
Yeah, I guess that's a good question. Are we even playing with hints today?
No, the hints have been turned off for a lot of the seeds I've seen lately. I think the tournament doesn't have any hints either.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a shame. I like the hint system. I'd like to see the hints still back in play.
I'm not a huge fan, mostly because I kind of like the troll hints, but I'm not a big fan of the hints that give you... Like, I've seen a hint for where the glove was in Ice Palace.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun just to see those.
It's like, wait a minute, how you're giving me a hint for an item that I literally can't read unless I have the item?
We once had two of the exact same hint in Tower of Hera. I was on the call for that, and I think I already died.
Okay,
anyway, back to the race. We are getting our Zora check.
No, we're not, because Frostbite doesn't have enough rupees.
No, I think he must have seen something on the ledge that he wants. He's
maybe the ledge is a big 20?
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe it's running on the ledge.
I'm a little surprised he went. Yeah, it is. So, I'm not a big fan of going over here without the money. Oh, what?
He has to go around because he has to go around. So now for the second time around to check King Zora. And we're probably going to get a single... This is why. I'm going to call a single green rupee on Zora right now.
I don't know. Is there anywhere left to check outside of Zora? We have to...
No, you're probably... Well, we have the Cane Smart, but that's not going to help us right now. Yeah, we need a hammer or a glove. So it's probably going to be something like that. I'd want to see a green rupee at this point, though.
I think it almost has to be... I think
it has to be progression.
I don't think it can be the hammer. Hammer doesn't progress them right now. It's
lamp!
The lamp!
Yes!
Aga, here we come.
Agadum, hi, old wizard. We maybe enjoyed that a little too much. Chad is reacting very positively to the fact that we're going to be visiting an old wizard.
Yep, and Frostbite will be the first in there, and then Azure will follow him shortly. It's like everybody's starting to do those flippers checks, so we're going to get there very quickly. Azure has the advantage of not having to go grab those 20 rupees before doing this.
I'd like to see someone just throw a bomb in after Agadum, or after Zora, I mean.
Oh, and unless we missed 1-Up getting his flippers, it looks like he did a... No, it didn't look like he did the fake flippers, because usually you have to go in and out twice.
Yeah, so we must have missed him picking them up.
Yeah, he must have them. Oh, and Frostbite gonna check Dark Cross first.
Yeah, we haven't seen this yet. I don't think we've seen the back of Escape either. So this is actually a good check. This is much quicker than going straight to Aghanim. We can Death Warp back to the beginning if we have to. So...
And that's what
Frostbite's doing. He realized he can't get to the back. So there must be a small key in the back of Escape. That means that there's no way to get there right now without the glove. Those other 2 chests that are with that key are off limits right now.
Looks like Azure's going to do the exact same thing. One up getting his lamp. Hitsugan looks like he hasn't checked the eastern area, so he's going to do that first.
Time to head upstairs. Begrudgingly.
All right, let's go.
I knew as soon as I saw 3 swords early, I knew that was not a good sign.
It's never a good sign.
No, never. So here we are. We're going to make our way through Aghanim's Tower, but with a much stronger sword that we normally have going through here. Normally, you only have the Master Sword. We have the Tempered Sword available today.
Yeah, to be fair, and Azure not realizing he has a fairy going for the Death Warp. But yeah, Agha's Tower gets much faster with Tempered, and if you have Gold Sword, then it's nothing. Could be much worse for these runners. It could have been Cape Sword combination. Going through this tower with just Fighter's Sword is just painful.
We have to ask Azure about this really long Death Warp later.
It's probably still faster than walking, but
yeah. At this point, it might have been better just to save the fairy in case you need it.
Well, again, he plays with 3 hearts normally, so that's the other thing. He's used to just having to go... Well, not that he Death Warps in that category. But...
Yeah, exactly. So we're already, as we're commenting on Azure being rescued unwittingly by a fairy, Frostbite's already on his way up Aghanim's Tower, Aghanim's Tower, and I keep thinking about that in Gan's Tower, mixing them up for some reason. But we are on the 5th floor of Aghanim's Tower now, so we are 2 floors away from the Almighty Wizard. That means we have a game we're going to have to get ready to play here. Ladies and gentlemen, start guessing how many blue balls. There's already one in chat. Let's start guessing how many blue balls we're going to have from Aghanim, the old wizard, today. I'm going to go with the my usual guess of 3, statistically. What do you think, Tracy?
I'll go 5. Last night we had a really nice one. I didn't get any blue balls.
Ooh, that's really kind. Of course, there is the 15 from Omega. Thank you, Omega, for
a few people. Girl also with 15, a few others. Oh, we got a -1.
Buyer Choker said that as well. I don't think we're gonna get anywhere on the -1. I'm gonna assume that is not a valid integer.
It is an integer. It's just not a
valid one.
We need whole numbers.
Not a valid one. So poor Zelda once again being baited into the Dark World. Goodbye, Zelda. And here we go. Aghanim fight begins. So to explain this, we don't get to talk about this all the time, but to explain this fight, he's going to fire out an orb just like that you can fire back at him. That is what you ideally want to see. However, on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th attacks, he may fire a blue ball, which he did not this time. That was a 2nd orb, 2 hits. It's a 50-50 chance that he fires that blue ball, which he did not this time. That's 3 hits. And after the 4th attack, which is going to be this one right now, still no blue balls, very kind. He goes to the center of the top of the screen and has a lightning intermission as Frostbite is playing the music, it looks like, by banging the sword against the wall in time with the beat. So we're going to have the 5th attack right here. And will this be a blue ball, or are we going to get a perfect Aghanim today? The attack is coming. Oh, blue ball! Where we're going to have a 2nd blue ball. No, one blue ball is correct.
And I will point, everybody's going to have the exact same RNG for this, so you're going to see that Azure's going to get the same non-blue balls until the 2nd to last shot.
So I'm going to comment in chat that we have. I'd like to try and see who is correct on the guess on this. Super Malmo World guessed 1. Congratulations, you win nothing.
And I think I saw a glove at the pyramid, and then everything froze up. So let me refresh for a second.
Yeah, we'll refresh that in a moment here. We'll be careful about that because I think we ended up behind on the Final Fantasy race last night when we tried to refresh. So hopefully chat can tell us if we're on speed or behind here as we refresh here. So I'm seeing the Armos Knights fight on Hitsui's side right now, firing the arrows in.
I'm a little behind that, so let me try refreshing again.
And Armos Knight is down. That's 50 rupees on the Armos Knight. We're getting our map check. I see a number 6 crystal over at Misery Mire. That's a little vanilla-ish. I saw a pennant over at Turtle Rock, which was the green pennant. It looks like I missed where the last pennant was.
Green pendant on Turtle Rock. That sounds really familiar. That's where it was yesterday.
That sounds disgusting. Please let that be required.
Well, I almost for a moment I thought maybe it was the same seed. We already know that it's not hookshot at Ped, so we're good.
I'm trying to think of a scenario where we can find something for Turtle Rock and Gan's Tower and then have an item that we still need at Sahasrara. I'm trying to think of that scenario right now. I'm not quite there yet. There's the Titan's Mitt, however.
Oh
from
my
Frostbite.
God.
Both gloves immediately available in the Dark World.
Azure took his gloves and he's going to check the back of Escape. 100 rupees and 20 rupees, so that was a waste.
Well, at least he can get a Palace of Darkness now.
Yep. So I think for progression to lead to Turtle Rock in Ganon's Tower, well, that's easy. It would be the Ice Rod.
It would be
with
at this
something
point,
on
yeah.
with something on Trinex.
I wonder if the bow could be on Sahasrara.
Well, we already have a bow.
Oh, true. We have one bow. That's right.
And as much as it's nice to just have silver arrows. Nobody's going to go out of their way to get silver arrows.
It would still be funny if a bow was on Sahasrara, which means he would have the silver arrows at this point. That would still be funny.
Okay, Tsuyan, the last to get into Aga's Tower.
Making a comment that maybe the sword on the tracker for one runner is not correct. We are getting that fixed now, so it is now showing the Bacon Blade there. Everyone has that Bacon Blade, so they all have good hit power potential. And
Yeah,
there's our other map check, and it does confirm Thieves Town was the other pendant.
Ooh, Pendant Thieves is the worst.
It looks like our tracker on top did catch all that, so we'll get the bottom trackers update on that as well.
Okay, as you're going to head into Pod, so we'll be the first to see that. But yeah, to talk about that Pendant Thieves for a second, Pendant Thieves is to me it's the dungeon that you can always go into. So there's nothing that you can get that says, "Hey, you should go to Thieves Town now." And if it's a pendant, you just don't want to go there if you don't have to.
Well, at the same time, Thieves Town has 4 unique items in it.
Yep.
So it always pays off to check Thieves Town. You never know, that item could be on blind. Even if it's a pendant, it doesn't hurt to clear that out.
That's the point. It sucks that it can pay out to check Thieves Town.
They're going to want to wait until they have a hammer, possibly, though, because the hammer, while in Thieves Town, it does lock a chest. So if you have a situation where there's one item and one dungeon item, so if you have, let's say, a map and the last unique item outstanding, you have a situation where you have to gamble whether to go back for that one item or just go ahead and kill blind right away and rule that out. Now, if you can rule out that the map or the compass is in the big chest, problem solved. It paid off to kill blind. So in that case, and blind's still an easy fight anyway from a lot of these runners anyway. So
yeah, Frostbite picking up the mushroom. Looks like he's going to head to the dig game. I wonder if he's going to do an early Smith's chain. And some runners will just go to the front half of Thieves. You could have up to 3 items there. One item has to be the big key, but the other 3 can be anything. And one up going to Skull Woods, which has a slight change in the new logic where the so-called pinball room could have an item other than a key. One up will not be able to finish Skull Woods because no fire rod, but there's a lot of areas he can check here if he wants to. And without the mirror, it doesn't really matter as much whether you go in front door or fall down the pit.
And that change you mentioned, the logic about the key not being necessarily at that same chest anymore, that can change the logic. It previously was required to be a key so you wouldn't soft lock in there. But then the idea came, you know what, we need to randomize that chest too, because if that's always a key, then we're looking at a situation where runners know they can avoid that room, and we need to make it so that room is in play. If they soft lock there, that's their own fault. They have to save and quit and start again. So it turned into that situation where runners now know that they can soft lock there. They're less likely to want to drop in and go through that route, knowing that they might not be able to get out.
Yeah, then and I with the I'm blanking on the names of the hands that drop down. If you
Wall
go
masters.
to the wall masters, if the wall masters grab you, you can go back to the front. So it's kind of nice. That'd be a reason to actually go in the front entrance.
The wall masters will take you to wherever you enter the dungeon. So if you come in through the drop down, it will take you back there.
Exactly. So that gives a little more incentive to go into one of the front entrances instead of dropping down.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, 1-Up's not going to check any of the back. There's only one item back there that he can get to, so he's going to leave and start checking the North Darkworld area. And Frostbite giving us our first look at Hype Cave. Well, 300 rupees is awful, but...
And we have the Froggy Hype Cave tour is going on today as we're finding bombs, heart pieces. You know what? I didn't name every single item, but Tracy, rate this Hype Cave.
0. Unless you still need Zora money, I call that a 0.
Can I just call that a -3?
Sure.
Thank you. -3 out of 10.
Hutsuyan gets his mitts as Azure continues through pod. I've not seen if he's gotten anything. Looks like he has not yet gotten anything there. Oh, and powder in the chess game. My favorite luxury item. Usually not needed, but definitely my favorite luxury item.
Usually not, but still nice for runners that may not be as highly skilled as other ones to have the ability to get a fairy.
Azure just found a hook shot in pod.
Ooh, very nice.
Unfortunately, that might take him further away from Catfish.
I didn't catch what the pendant was for Misery Mire, but Hitsuyan just took a look at that, I believe. And that was not a useful Mire shed. Just supplies. And according to our tracker, it was Bombos on the Misery Mire today. So Bombos looks like the required medallion.
Yeah, having no medallions yet, it might be a while.
And there's the map in Thieves Town, so there's one of our dungeon items out of the way. It looks like 1-Up is going to take the Death Warp, hopefully without a fairy this time. Yep, we're good.
Yeah, I don't think anybody went to the back of Thieves Town. I think we've only seen the front. And all I saw in there was a heart container. There are worse things you can pick up than a heart container, but it's not exactly what they're looking for.
It looks like they want to get the front four out of the way, and they're going to wait for the hammer to go back. That makes sense.
Or possibly never go back there.
Unless the hammer is back there.
Yeah. Well, ideally, they don't want to go back there. We'll see.
Azure looked like he was going to leave the Palace Darkness area, but he's going to head back in.
Looks like he wants to check the chest over here. He's not going to be able to full clear this because he doesn't have the hammer. But at least
exactly.
But getting that hook shot is pretty nice.
The hook shot was a good play, yes. And the hammer could be locked behind that hook shot, so this might be a required double dip as well. I'm just taking a quick look at the crystal count. We still only have 1 crystal for 2 of our runners in Eastern Palace. Everyone else hasn't done a dungeon yet on the restream. Reminding everyone that there are 5 crystals required to open Ganon's Tower today. You can get in there early today. There could be progression in Ganon's Tower. So some of the items that we're not finding may show up there.
So a chat telling us, and I'm just noticing, Azure picked up the mirror in there somewhere. I didn't see where he got it, but he's got one now, so he obviously used it. He obviously got it in pod somewhere. Looks like he's going to head over to Tower of Terror with that mirror.
There are a lot of items in Eastern Palace. It's easy to overlook items in there. Or, I mean, get in Palace of Darkness.
Oh, especially in Palace of Darkness, because so many keys.
Exactly.
You get trapped in thinking everything's a key, and then until it's not.
I'm trying to count the digs on 1UP's digging game. I think we're at 24 or 25 digs for a set of bombs.
Ooh, yuck. But like I said, this could be bad for Azures. Might be a while before he gets back to that catfish check. He's pulled out the Book of Mudor. He's gonna go ahead and check the Ether tablet first. I like this.
Not a bad idea. And he has the mirror, so he can check the Bombos tablet when he's down in the Swamp Palace area as well. And there's our Fisher Price shield.
Yeah, nice little shield.
Those didn't really go into style, so I think they stopped making them.
And big key right here in the easy side of the basement, so doesn't have to go to the annoying basement part.
Unless there's an item down there, and we may have to later. We're going to start looking into that possibility right now as we find a piece of heart. That is one of the 2 items here. We're likely going to find a key up here, unless the key is set to be able to lock itself, which it may or may not be. I didn't check that setting. But assuming it does not lock itself, the key will be one of the items up here, and that chest down there either has a compass, a map, or some other item. And we're going to see 2 of those up here.
1UP going into his hype cave, gonna get the sad news that there is nothing there.
More like Wipe Cave, if you ask me.
Yeah.
There's our key, so that does open up the other chest in the basement. Doing a bomb jump now. Azure is going to get over that big chest. And there's our compass. That's one of the dungeon items. So we have a map and another item still at large.
Yeah, 50-50 chances on Moldorm, 50-50 chances in the basement.
And this is a good place to clear as well, because this is a 5-6 crystal. This also leads towards the pyramid check possibility. We need Misery Mire for the other one, which means it's still far away, but it is at least one of the 2 crystals that we need for that. So that does open up 2 more items when we get there. And 1UP 40 checking the back of Escape right now, getting the money and the small key, which is now useless.
Yep, and as a group, we are bombos away from being able to go into Misery Mire.
We are. So let's see what Moldorm has on its person today as we find bombs. We do not need to visit the basement. The map is in the basement.
Yeah, that's a good news, bad news. Good news, we don't have to go in the basement. The bad news, it's a crap item.
But you need the crystal, so you don't.
But you need the crystal, so you don't mind.
Don't mind.
So we'll see if Azure decides to do the East Death Mountain checks while he's up here. Looks like he's heading that way. Unfortunately, he has to go fall all the way down here to do it, since he doesn't have hammer.
How can Link stand that fall? That's amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
Poison their legs. Oh, we're going to get the back of Thieves Town from Frostbite as well. So we are seeing the other half of Thieves Town now. He's going upstairs to a couple rooms away to what I like to call the Sunshine Room. And you'll see why I like to call it the Sunshine Room when he gets over there. Hitsuyin taken to death. I didn't see if that was a death warp. It could be. He doesn't have the mirror yet. And there's why I call it the Sunshine Room. We do have the, yeah, it was a death warp. He opens up the hole in the floor, and that will open up the room below to receive a lot of sunshine.
And to answer the question, yes, you can check the magic bat with the mirror. But nobody has the mirror except Azure, and Azure doesn't have the mitts to go there. So.
Yeah. He didn't check the catfish like Frostbite did. There's the bombos.
Okay,
Pyramid Fairy is suddenly looking good.
So Azure really needs to get over to that catfish spot, but like I said, he's getting pulled farther and further away from it.
We do have the KS Samaria available as well. Remember, we did pick that up on Frostbite and Hitsuyin. Azure does not have that yet, so he does not know that Misery Mire is available.
Well, he doesn't even know right now that he's got the right medallion for it.
That's absolutely correct. He doesn't know that yet either. And he can't even get there anyway because he doesn't have the Titan Smith.
Exactly.
But we know up here in the commentary booth that it is available. The question will be which runner will connect the dots first and find their way there. I truly think that might be where our progression could lie right now.
looks like 1-Up may be heading over towards Pod now since he's taking the
and now our blind pun of the day. A tap dancer's routine runs. I didn't see the end of that.
Yeah, me neither.
Maybe someone in chat knows the rest of that line. Hot and cold. I thought, okay, I did think I saw that, but I wasn't sure. So a tap dancer's routine runs hot and cold.
And what do we have at blind? We have a compass.
A magnetic circle.
In other words... Oh, right. Okay, so that means that there must be an item in the big chest, because there would be absolutely no other reason to kill blind.
I
unless
agree.
he thought there was an item there. Because we already know Pet is dead, and it's not green pendant, so...
If he had found all the items, he would not be killing blind.
Yeah, exactly. So 1-Up is... Yep, 1-Up heading into Pod.
Our live chat is reacting to the knowledge that there is now an item in the big chest of Thieves Town very begrudgingly. And Hitsugi clearing out his cave of uselessness.
Looks like Azure's going to check the ledge here. I'm over near Bumper Cave. Can't get the item yet.
Hitsugi goes to visit the old man, gets a health top up, and is going to explore more of Death Mountain. Well, he's going to fly off. That was just a starting point for the health. There's our gold sword off of the purple chest. We now have all 4 of our swords found.
Nice.
Delicious butter sword.
And Azure's going to do a late check for the Aga item. Sees that it's just a heart container. Doesn't need that.
Frostbite does not have his way to get into... That was definitely Bombos, by the way. He doesn't have his way to get into Misery Mire, but he now knows he needs a Bombos to die, and we do know that that is up in Paradox Cave. We saw that on Azure's side. Azure does not know that will open up Misery Mire. He also does not have the Canis Samaria, which is needed for Misery Mire, or the Titan's Bit to lift the rock to get to Misery Mire. So those are the things that we know are out there. The glove Titan's Bit is on Catfish, with the glove being on the Pyramid, or vice versa, pick up at the other order. So all the tools are available to get to Misery Mire. That is where we will need to go next, I believe.
No one player actually has. No one player has the full set of what's needed right now. 1-Up's going to get close. He's going to, after he does Pod, he'll have a mirror. He'll have a hook shot, and we'll be able to go get that Bombos.
Azure takes a bounce into the pit, loses the heart, down to 1 heart. He's going to take the Death Warp from there. Frostbite does have a sight. He is heading down to the Palace of Darkness area right now.
Oh, and this is a new check. We have not seen this part of Skull Woods yet that Azure's in right now. And we have just the big key.
And a Sync Death Warp from Azure and 1-Up 40. So 1-Up 40 is going to continue his trek to Palace of Darkness. Azure leaving Skull Woods.
See, is he going to check the front half? Yeah,
why not at this point?
Gonna fall through the hole.
He can save and quit from here, so it's not a big deal.
Exactly.
That's why I checked the back half first. He's going to come back to that chest because he has to come back this way, and opening that chest does open pits in the floor, so it's a lot easier to come get that one on the way back than opening it right away, because you have to make your way around all the pits. So he's going to come back through, he's going to open that chest now, doesn't have to go around that big pit that just appeared. And Go ahead.
I was just saying, getting that vanilla key in the pinball.
There's the mirror. Turtle room.
We knew it had to be in here. And I don't think we actually saw 2 items in Skullwood, so something's going to be in the back.
Yeah, something on Mocula or at the chest back there. We didn't see the big chest, so that's out of play.
Okay, now hopefully Azure stays to the north part of Dark World and heads on over to Catfish. Everybody else has gotten their Catfish.
He can check Graveyard Ledge. This would pay off now. I actually wonder if he might even check Bumper Cave if he hasn't already. I don't know if we've seen Bumper Cave yet.
Yeah, he checked
what
Bumper
item
Cave.
is there that he did?
It was. I want to say it was something. I think it was arrows or something. It was definitely nothing needed. So
not required. But yeah, as you said, he can check. As I was saying, he can check Graveyard Ledge on the way over. So it would definitely pay off for him to stay on the Northern Dark World and get those checks out of the way now. And he would get his Titans bit. He still wouldn't be able to get through Misery Mire, but at least he could get to it.
Yeah, and he could also check the King's Tomb since he can mirror to the inside of that area.
I find it interesting that a runner as through as Asder has not checked all of Death Mountain yet.
He did check all of Death Mountain.
Well, he doesn't have the Key of Samaria.
He does. Where was the Canis Maria again?
Paradox Cave.
No, that was where Bombos was.
Oh, no, did I get that wrong? Shoot, where was that?
Oh, Hobo. Okay.
Hobo had that. Yeah, so he hasn't checked Hobo. My mistake. I got my Hobo and my Bombos mixed up there. My mistake there.
Okay, either way, not gonna dip the Use Town.
Either way, he needs both items anyway.
Okay, he's gonna turn in that mushroom. First person to do that.
What do you think the mushroom is today? Ice Rod?
Yeah, that would be annoying. What do we got? Just a heart container. And where are we going now? Okay, back to town.
The troll option of progressing Gan's Tower leading to a required Turtle Rock is pretty much out of play now, so that's not on the table anymore. There's not enough items still needed that wouldn't also be needed for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and I don't believe we could have even Hammer in there, because Hammer is just needed in too many places. You need it for Ice Palace, you need it for Pod, you need it for Swamp. Skullwoods and Misery Mire are the only places left you don't need that hammer for, and that would not get us up to 5.
And you need the hammer just to get to Turtle Rock too, obviously.
Yep.
And Frostbite now getting his silver arrows. So it looks like the second bow was found somewhere as well. Drops a bomb on the old man. Or maybe I'm wrong on the silver arrows. I thought he had them. No, it's not the silver arrows. That might have been his first bow.
It's just the bow. Yeah, he hasn't done Eastern yet. Finished Eastern yet.
I was looking at the lit up tracker bow. I thought maybe I thought maybe he picked up another one somewhere.
Azure is dipping Thieves Town. Let's see if he does the whole thing, or if he looks like he's gonna keep going. At the bottom of our screen, we have the 1 heart and the quarter heart runners.
Being pointed out in the chat that in Ice Palace, there are 3 locations where the hammer could be. And it could be in the map chest of Swamp Palace as well.
Yep, that is true.
So thank you, Mercuric Wanderer, for that helpful information there.
But not going to be in GT.
Yeah, I don't believe it can be at this point.
I believe, well, actually, we're also missing a Fire Rod.
Yeah, we are.
So,
Fire Rod and Ice Rod.
Let's see. Fire Rod would be needed for only be needed for Skull Woods as far as Crystal Dungeons. So we still have a possibility for a required item being in GT.
And the item, we could also have a required item in Turtle Rock as well. The Fire Rod could even be in Turtle Rock, just to explain how spread out this could be. Now, it would have to be the first chest in Turtle Rock, most likely, but it could be there.
Yeah, it could be in the first checks, or if there's a key in the first check, you can get pretty far depending on what's in those two right side chests.
So 1UP40 is going to get his mold arm. So it's interesting that we're now coming up on the 53.5-minute point of the race, and we're only at 2 crystals in for one of our runners. This is the first dungeon that 1UP40 is being marked as having completed. So that tells you how annoying this seed has been so far. We're not counting, by the way, Aghanim's Tower in the dungeons completed, as it's required for progression, but to see how little is done in terms of dungeon completion just shows how annoying this seed is right now.
Well, yeah, and that hookshot in pod where you don't have hammer is quite trolly, and hammer just locks so much in dungeons. It really doesn't lock much on the overworld, but just the number of dungeons that it locks, either completely or at least partially, makes it really hard to then go get those crystals if you have to do those dungeons. Azure also can do his blind fight to get, I forget what was the map or compass, but either way.
Azure getting his blind laugh of the day. Okay,
I think we just saw our first Super Bunny check on Hitsuyan's side, and all I saw there was a red rupee and a blue boomerang, so...
Ew.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, most runners prefer the blue to the red boomerang, but yeah, it's definitely nothing you're going to go out of your way to pick up.
Frostbite joining the 2-dungeon fan club, getting Tower of Hera. The other dungeon he has done is a pendant, though, so he still only has 1 crystal.
And Quake required if we have to go to Turtle Rock.
And 1UP40 finally getting his bombos out of Paradox Cave.
And some blue mail in the Hookshot Cave, always a nice safety. And ether, which we don't need today. Oh, and there's that fire rod.
Was that in Hookshot Cave?
In Hookshot Cave.
Ah. That means Turtle Rock is looking less and less likely at this point. Unless the boots are there.
But theoretically, we don't need the boots.
Yeah, theoretically, we don't need them unless the GT Big Key happens to be on the torch, which would be, well, disgusting. That would mean that everything else in the game suddenly opens up as being potentially required just to get the boots.
Yep. Or if something in desert's required.
Here's where the nightmare scenario would fall right now. GT Big Key on torch, and let's put the boots on Sahasrara. That's pretty much the only real nightmare that remains.
Okay, Azure can do the South Dark World checks. I don't know if we've seen all... Yeah, we haven't seen these yet, because he'll be the first to come over here with a mirror. And just a bottle in K45.
And Frostbite getting his bombos. So everyone now has... actually, no. 1UP40, is he not at Paradox Cave yet? I thought I saw him check it.
Yeah, I thought so.
We'll have to check a menu to confirm, but I think everyone has their bombos medallion now. We'll double check on 1UP40's case, but he is in the Death Mountain area. I feel like he's gone to Paradox, but we'll get a confirmation on that. He's doing the Soup Buddy right now, and you were right. We have a blue boomerang and $20. So at least both boomerangs are readily available.
Yeah.
Choose how you wish to stun. 1UP40 going to be getting his fire rod. Oh, he had a blue shirt in Hookshot Cave as well. And that was the ether in Hookshot Cave as well.
The completely unneeded ether medallion.
Well, that does mean that Hitsuyan also has that, because he does have the fire rod,
yes.
So he would have gotten that as well.
He did get that.
Yep.
suspect Azure's going to head over and check the Bombos tablet.
So 140 will get his information, and he'll be happy to know that he is capable of entering and completing. This will be our first check of Misery Mire that we were looking for about 20 minutes ago.
And there's the hammer at the Bombos tablet.
Oh, wow!
I suspect that might send Azure straight to Swamp.
That might be something that people overlook until they actually go to check Swamp Palace. They'll do that check along the way.
This is kind of a good news, bad thing for Azure. It might be a while before the other runners get to that spot, but it just pulls him even further away from that catfish check.
Well, I would say that almost gives him an advantage, but not having the Titans Mid already, that actually is a negative, because that's going to pull him further away from Misery Mire, which is what 140 is checking right now. If there's progress in there, this could be huge.
Yeah, ideally for Azure, what would work out best for him is if those mitts end up being his go mode item, it'll save him a whole lot of checks. He won't go do the smiths, he won't do hammer pegs, he won't do the purple chest, all those checks that take a long time sometimes.
That could work out. We'll have to see what happens here.
And we'll have to see whether he decides to check the left side of Swamp. I know he often will not check that, so we'll see if he does or not. But it is new checks for us, and so we got on the bottom of our screen, we got 2 new locations. We got Swamp Palace, and we got the Misery Mire that we have not seen yet.
So we're going to see what the first item in Swamp Palace is right now. This is the one Fable chest that could have the hammer. We now know that it doesn't. So what is in this chest today? It is the compass, magnetic circle. And at least now we know where to find the boss. Of course, these runners all knew where to find the boss already. We won't discuss that detail. And we have almost sync openings of Misery Mire on Frostbite and Hitsuyin, just a few seconds apart here. 140 is currently digging through. Azure is the only runner who cannot go to Misery Mire right now. I don't think we've seen progression in Misery Mire yet, but it is a 5-6 crystal. Pyramid Fairy is locked behind that second crystal.
Yeah, I do believe we've only seen keys so far.
It's interesting for Frostbite's sake that this is only going to be his second crystal overall. So this could be, he's going to easily go to Pyramid Fairy and think there's something there.
And that was an ice rod.
Nice. That was in Swamp?
No, in Mire.
Ah.
That is not, I never want to, if I don't have to do TR, I don't want to see an ice rod.
Well, yeah, the ice rod only locks one item though, so it's more of a gamble to do it otherwise.
But it's the item you don't want to have to go get.
And this immediately brings the idea of boots on Sahasrahla back into focus here. In fact, I'm wondering if anyone in chat is actually hoping for that stereo I called now. Bombs in the big chest, I think that was. Of Swamp Palace.
Yep, I saw some bombs. And it looks like Azure is going to do the left side.
It's going across the spike floor, and that's where you normally would use a cape in the vanilla game, I think, or the Cane of Burna to avoid damage if you were trying to do a no damage run. Good luck with that.
Or if you're just new at the game, you just don't want to get damaged.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you're a scrub. Frostbite getting his big key. Azure is going to do left side before going to the back of Swamp Palace.
Yep, he was already grabbing the key a little bit ago.
Comment, question in chat, could this be a pedestal seed? No, this is not a pedestal seed. All we have there is couch cash today. Yep. So basically like a 5 or a 20 or something like that.
Yeah, we had the book super early, and only one runner, I forget which runner checked it, but it's been checked.
I think it was Hitsuyin. Hitsuyin checked it.
Okay, let's see if the left side of swamp has anything. So
I
far, no.
A comment in chat about how the boots require for desert. Let's also remember that it's a pendant in Desert Palace. So Desert Palace itself is not required unless there's an item locked behind Land Molus or behind that key. That's the only way that would be required.
Okay, 2 items on the left side of swamp. Neither one are items that we want.
Too bad. And we're going to have a Viddy fight. So we're going to Visine these eyes here, and wow. Oh, not even giving the eye a chance to come out, just firing arrows right at it. Very good fight by 1 up 40.
That was a very, very nice
And
fight.
the item is boots!
Boots!
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh
the speed run may now begin.
Well, the good news is for these runners, they're all going to get boots. 2 of them are going to get them very soon. I wonder if that'll take him back into desert at all.
And my dream is dead.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything. We are in no mode, so to speak. We know where everything is. The runners don't. None of the runners by themselves know where everything is.
Everyone has a different hodgepodge of items. Everyone has different things they have to do.
Oh, half magic. Like, that's always a
half magic is very nice. Yeah. So we know that the hammer, for example, being on Bombo's tablet, there are 3 runners who still need to go to the Bombo's tablet. We know that we don't have to necessarily go to Turtle Rock today because we are in no mode. So Turtle Rock is out of the agenda. That means Sahasrarla is not going to have anything. Ice Rod not needed. So that leaves the Fire Rod for Asder. Fire Rod was, where was that again?
It was in Hookshot. Hookshot
Cave. Okay. Silver arrows would be nice to have, but are not required. But Asder also still needs the King of Samaria from the Hobo. So he needs 2 items. Everyone else is looking mainly at the hammer as the one thing they really need to make progression at this point.
Yeah, Asher actually needs 3 because he still needs to pick up those mitts.
Oh, I forgot about the mitts. That's correct. So not doing the check of the Dark World very quickly is going to actually hurt him in this case because now he's going to have his 3rd crystal. That will give him a crystal lead, but the longer he doesn't get those mitts off Catfish, that could put him further and further behind.
Well, the good news for him, he's got the hammer, so he may hit straight over and finish up pods, since he can do that with the hammer, and that'll get him close to Catfish. So maybe he will go there at that point.
We'll have to see what he decides to do. He's going to be leaving here in a moment with that 3rd crystal. Frostbite, meanwhile, getting his 2nd crystal. Now we do know where everything is, so we know that Aghanim's Tower will not, or I did it again. Ganon's Tower will not have progression today. Therefore, the 5-7 will not come into play here. The runners will be able to finish all the crystal dungeons before going to Ganon's Tower as usual.
Okay, let's see where Azure decides to go next. Looks like he's going to head over and do the powder check.
And we have a bug fight. So, Fire Rod and Bacon Blade make this fairly elementary. Just don't hit him over the spikes. That cancels the hit.
Yeah, when I played this game as a kid, I thought you had to use the Fire Rod to hurt him.
It seems easier.
A lot of misconceptions.
It seems easier to use a Fire Rod, actually.
Probably compared to a Master Sword, which is what you would normally have.
And that's why you probably thought you had to use the Fire Rod.
Yep, well, you know, it makes sense. You get the Fire Rod in that dungeon, so why not have to use it to beat the boss, you know?
Exactly, makes sense. As you're calling Swag Duck Air and is heading over, as you suggested, to Palace of Darkness.
So let's hope that'll get him through Palace of Darkness, and then he can head to that Catfish spot. As he double checks his map.
Always
Yeah, always good to know. I happen to know Azure does not use a tracker, so it makes sense that he would every once in a while check it just to be sure.
Always good to check your map, make sure you know where you're going. It's important to follow the path exactly. What?
Kitsugan also almost leaving it and saying, oh, half magic. I don't need it, but I want it.
Oh, yes. More, please.
Yeah.
So,
they're just certain luxury items that, you know, half magic, powder, cape that are just nice to have in certain situations. None of which are by any stretch needed, except for like cape for specific items or the powder for one item.
So as he re-enters Palace of Darkness, doesn't have to go pay off Kiki again. Kiki already stole his money, so just gonna head back in and finish the job now.
And I was right. Frostbite, having gotten those boots, decides to go ahead and check Desert. There are some nice things this could have, but nothing that he needs.
Nothing he needs. Well, maybe he needs a shovel. Maybe the red mail is here.
Another nice luxury item.
Yes. We're gonna find out it is bombs. Oh, that's nice to have. Early in the game.
Yeah, we got our King's Tomb check, and I believe it's just a container heart. Hitsuan also going to check Desert.
Check of the bonk rocks by 1 out 40. Boots are making it seemingly necessary for him to open all those. He's going to get his fire shield out of that. Ooh, a lot of bees in that tree.
And 1UP hasn't checked Lumberjack, so he's right here, gonna go ahead and check it.
Why not, I guess.
I believe it was a heart container.
Yep, yeah, full heart container. Not Sank heart either, so it wasn't worth it.
Okay, as you're finishing up pod, let's see if there's anything here.
And the king falls on Azra's screen. That is a piece of heart he collects. Now up to 4 crystals. Now, theoretically, he is 1 crystal away from being able to enter Ganon's tower. However, and he may do that, but we know, however, that he does not have to do that. We know that where everything is in the seed that the runners need. We know that Ganon's tower is not necessary. He does not know that. He may go to Ganon's tower looking for his Titan's Mitt or for his King of Samaria. If he does that, he's going to lose a lot of time looking through the keys.
He can't get his Titan's mitts there. He knows that. You need to have mitts to get there in the first place, if I'm not mistaken.
That's true, but he may go back and look for the King of Samaria. That's a good point.
He could look for the King of Samaria. Unfortunately, he's just fluted to the mountain.
He's going to Turtle Rock, maybe. No, he can't. He doesn't have the King of Samaria.
He can't do Turtle Rock, so I'm not exactly sure what he's looking for here.
I don't know either. Maybe he's just checking the Ether tablet. Did he not check the Ether yet?
I thought he did. And he's done Tower of Hera. Spike Cave.
That makes sense.
Unfortunately, this has gotten. I was hoping he would go to that catfish spot after pod. Not going to happen. He's going to go to Spike Cave.
Just going straight down to Spike Cave. Yeah, he must have checked the Ether already. 1 out of 40 is going to get his gold sword. Has to drag a chest around behind him for a little while to get it, but he'll get it.
Always feels bad to drag this chest around when you have boots already.
I'm not used to seeing it dragged up to the north of the village.
Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't just flute and do it now rather than run all the way around the Dark World to drag it back there.
I wonder if he's forgotten to do something. You know, he's almost left it behind.
Oh, is he gonna do
leaving
that?
It behind.
Yeah. Okay. So there's this. Oh no, he's not leaving it. So there's this new weird glitch. I don't understand entirely how it works, but apparently, if you leave the chest someplace and you mirror to the locksmith at the right spot, it'll be like you still have it. I don't understand how that works fully, but from out there, I thought that's what he was going to do, and it's not. Okay, Azure back
I don't know either.
Looks like Azure may be doing that catfish check. He's back in the.
Nope, he's going south.
Oh no, he's going south. Okay, he's gonna check the island here. That'll probably get him. He's gonna get his cane. This is actually
nice workaround path to get to the cane.
Yeah, this is actually really good news for him. If he gets his cane and then gets his mitts, he's not gonna have to full clear Mire, and he's not gonna go check Desert because he's gonna get the cane, and if he'll get the mitts before he goes to Mire, he has to. So if he can manage to get those mitts pretty soon, he should be able to. Does that put
Yeah.
him in go?
When he finds the fire rod in Misery Mire, he'll know he can go to the back of Misery Mire then.
Yeah, in Hookshot Cave.
And we know the boots are back there, so he will get those boots eventually.
Yep. Okay, looks like he is heading towards that catfish check.
This is good news for him. This will put him very close to being in go mode.
He'll be a fire rod away.
All of our other runners, though, still need the hammer.
Oh, he's gonna check do these other checks first. So he's gonna do King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge first.
Doesn't hurt.
But he probably would have done them anyway, since he's more than one item from.
Exactly.
Okay, one up about to get his hammer though. And I do believe that will put one up in go mode. I think that hammer.
Yeah, you are correct. At 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 48 seconds, 1 up 40 is in go mode. Silver arrows would be nice to have, but not required.
Now, I wouldn't necessarily call him in the lead. He's only got 2 crystals to Azure's 4.
We're getting Pyramid Fairy check on Frostbite, by the way, so we're getting to see what useless items are there today. And there is the single green rupee and some bombs. We found the green rupee, ladies and gentlemen.
A whole lot of trash in the Pyramid Fairy.
So just to remind you that this is an open mode race. We are playing on the Raw. Anyone who wants to can enter this race. We have a 14 entrants in this race today. Daily race 5-7 open, defeat Ganon Seed. This is the link to the past randomizer daily race. We have them at 2 o'clock and 9 o'clock Eastern time every day. I'm Cyclone, joined by Tracy. I'm at the 1 hour, about 1 hour, 15 minute point of what is turning out to be a very, very, I kind of want to say kind of a mix of an open and linear seed at the same time. Wouldn't you agree?
It's actually kind of interesting. It can be fairly linear, but if you look at the difference we have 3 runners that took very, very similar routes. One up at Suyan and Frostbite, and then Azure, who did completely his own thing.
Yeah, he found a little bit of a progress, but he does have to get to the how to get to the items he needed in order to get to Misery Mire. Everything was locked behind Misery Mire today for getting through the seed, it looks like. You had to find your way to Misery Mire, complete it to get the last item you needed.
Well, Misery Mire having the Pegasus boots, which may or may not actually end up being needed. It's this catfish check that was holding him up. Getting those
and
mitts.
Also the Bombos medallion. I guess it was kind of like a more open seed.
And Pod having the mirror and the hook shot.
By the way,
go straight to Mire.
By the way, Hitsoyan is now in go mode.
This is a little bit unfortunate for Azure. If he had managed to get that fire rod before going to Mire, that would have meant he could have just go moded Mire. He's not going to be able to do that. But he will only have, this will get him his 6th crystal. He might, no, sorry, his 5th.
As we're now going to enter Misery Mire, this will eventually lead him to the fire rod, and he will also go into go mode. Frostbite still needs the hammer to get there himself.
So yeah, we've got the two players in go mode, so they're just going to go, so to speak. Azure, my guess, is going to finish Mire. He might do Ice Palace, and then he'll probably head up to the mountain, and then he'll check the Hookshot Cave probably before going to GT, which would send him back to Skull Woods.
At this point, Azure's crystal lead looks like it is going to hold. He has 4 crystals that the other runners have. In the case of Frostbite, he has 3 crystals that he still needs the boot, so that's not going to come into play yet. We have a Hitsuyan on 3 crystals himself. He could catch up a little bit closer while Azure is looking around for the fire rod and the big key. But 1 out of 40 is going to come up to 3 crystals himself in go mode on our little squid friend, Argus.
Yeah, the good news for Hitsuyan 1 up is they didn't have to check the left side. All of Swamp had nothing. So saving time by not doing the left side checks is pretty huge.
1 out of 40 having a hard time with the squid fight. There it is.
But the time save for Azure is I doubt he's going to do any of the myths checks. I don't think he's going to go. He can pretty much just go to dungeons at this point. And if he just decides to go up Death Mountain, do Hookshot Cave into GT, he'll get that Fire Rod, probably go back down, finish off. Actually, I wonder if it would be just faster considering the way the crystal layout works. I could actually see him choosing get that Fire Rod, just go do GT in the standard way, and then go back to Skull Woods after that.
The thing is, finishing GT will put you right into Ganon's spot. Whereas if you do the crystal dungeons and then have to go back, you have to either save and quit or go back. So it's a question of how he prefers to do it. It's going to come to rudder preference at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know which is better. This is probably one of those things because of the new possibilities of crystals that people haven't quite mapped out yet. There's so much in the normal 7-7. There's so many things that have already been figured out, so to speak. As you're smartly going and getting the fire, the magic that he needs to go ahead and activate these torches.
Rick's is confirming something I was just trying to get at. Because they did kill Aghanim 1, they can start in the Dark World with the save and quit. So after they do the last crystal, they can save and quit back to the pyramid. And as long as they're in the Dark World when they save and quit.
Yep, that's right.
They will not have full health when they do that, however, whereas they would have full health after they finish a dungeon.
Okay, 1-up going to be our first runner into the Ice Palace. The other really good go mode dungeon.
And there is
Ice Rod.
Yep, as they're cracking open a cold one, still wants to find the cayenne pepper though.
Yep, that's where he's saying to himself, wrong rod. Okay, so the answer to the question in chat about GT, it's not always unlocked. It depends. There are 2 crystal requirements that'll be decided at the beginning of every seed. So standard would be, I shouldn't say standard, that actually means something. Basically, what you would normally have is 7-7, where you have to open GT, you need 7 crystals, and to defeat Ganon, you need 7 crystals. Here we have a 5-7, where the 5 refers to the number of crystals to open up GT, and 7 refers to the number of crystals to open up Ganon. So they can go to GT once they've got 5 crystals. If they so desire. And what that also means is that theoretically you could actually have progression in GT. That isn't the case in this seed, but that can happen.
Correct. So the progression will not be in Ganon's Tower this time around. And just in case something I said was not clear earlier, because there seems to be some confusion in the chat and among one of our trackers, I was saying that you do have to have 5 out of 7 crystals to get to Ganon's Tower. You still have to have all 7 crystals, and you do have to defeat Ganon to finish the seed.
Yeah, so they can do GT early if they want. Okay, 1-up in his Cold Stare fight. And with Gold Sword, or I guess even Tempered Sword, I guess he still has Tempered. Not even a chance to... Gets him in that nice corner lock.
So Azure is going to make his way to Vitreous right now. He did get the Ice Rod, which is not marked on our tracker, by the way, so... We'll see if we can get that update, even though it is not required. He does have it.
Yeah, and to answer the question, chat, yes, they do have to climb the tower and defeat Aga. So this is defeat Ganon as opposed to fast Ganon. In fast Ganon, you do not have to defeat Aga 2 in order to get to Ganon. In defeat Ganon, you do. I feel like there could have been a better way to word that, but I'm not sure what it is. Like fast makes sense, you would just go to it, but
the main thing is complete Ganon's tower. Yeah. Complete Ganon's tower. You can complete Ganon's tower with 5 crystals, but you have to have all 7 to beat Ganon.
And to answer the question about silvers, well, it is still a progressive bow, so it's the second bow we're looking for, but that could literally be anywhere.
Yeah.
That's not, I mean, I guess technically it's progression, because, I mean, technically, I guess you're supposed to be able to get silvers before you defeat Ganon, but,
Well, you have access.
Available, you know.
I wouldn't even call it progression because all 216 chests are available at that point.
Exactly. Okay, as you're gonna head over to ice, this is actually really unfortunate because he's not gonna do a go mode ice because he still needs that fire rod. So this is just gonna give the other runners a chance to catch up as he searches for that fire rod.
Noting that Azure has not picked up the half magic, he did not pick that up from Checkboard Cave while he was in the swamp. He should, in the Misery Mire area, so he should be okay with not getting that. All top runners know how to finish the game with the magic they have. But that could be something that may slow Azure down later if he misses a couple shots in places.
The real question for Azure is he going to go head up to Death Mountain before or after he does some of those other myths checks? I think it's just more likely. There's so many items in GT. If he was led that direction, that he would go there first, and ideally check the Hookshot Cave on his way.
I just realized I thought Fire Rod was in Misery Mire, but I had the wrong rod there. Where was the Fire Rod again?
Hookshot Cave.
Hookshot Cave, okay. Yeah, that's right, I remember that now. So hopefully he does get up there sooner rather than later. This will lead him, I think, actually this could work out for him because the 5-7 Ganon's Tower access means that he will go to Ganon's Tower looking for the Fire Rod. He'll find it in Hookshot Cave and he'll know he can just play Ganon's Tower normally at that point.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting. Then it's just a question of, do you do Skullwoods first or do you go finish off Ganon's Tower? And like I said, this is such a new mode that I don't know that anybody's timed things like that. So it's just hard to say which would be faster.
Well, it's going to work out in Azure's case because he's going to be able to, you don't have to go back down the mountain to take down Skull Woods.
Yep.
We'll see if he remembers that once he picks up the Fire Rod. He can just go straight to Ganon's Tower at that point because he has enough crystals to go into Ganon's Tower right now if he wants to.
Does. I was kind of hoping that having those 5 crystals to go into Ganon's Tower would send him there right now. With all the number of checks in that area as opposed to the number of checks in Ice Palace, where there's just the 3.
Well, he was near Ice Palace to get out of the way, and that's the 6th crystal. There's only the 1 left then. So I don't question his routing at all. That might be quicker to do it this way.
I guess it really depends on. The only waste of time is if he decides to full clear it. If he just finishes it and then goes up, then that would benefit.
He will unfortunately full clear it because he is looking for the Fire Rod.
Yeah, it's kind of my sense too. But it looks like he hasn't gone to the right side yet.
He might be choosing to gamble on not looking for the Fire Rod in here. He knows there's a lot of chests up on Death Mountain, especially in Ganon's Tower. That is going to come into play.
It is the kind of play that I know he would make, so it'll be interesting to see if he decides to do that or not.
Indeed. Meanwhile, the King goes down for Hitsuya, and I saw one on 48 fighting him earlier too, so both of them have it now. Frostbite is also making the trip through Ice Palace. It is a crystal dungeon, so it is required. It's worth noting that Frostbite did complete all of the pendant dungeons as well, it looks like. Actually, no, not Turtle Rock, except for Turtle Rock. He completed the other 2 pendant dungeons.
Yeah, fortunately for him, the other 2 pendant dungeons were not. I mean, Thieves is a bit long, but, there's 4 items in there, so it's not too bad. Desert's not long at all. Having to do Turtle Rock, on the other hand, that's a long one. Well,
Azure did complete Thieves Town, so if you look at it from a routing perspective, Hitsuya and 1UP did not complete Thieves Town.
Yep.
And Azure is still ahead. So this shows that Azure has some pretty solid routing in place for this seed.
Okay, he's not going to check the rest of Ice Palace, so let's see if he goes to the mountain now.
It has to be. Absolutely has to be, in my opinion. And to 1 and proceed.
Yep, so and hopefully he goes and checks that Hookshot Cave before heading into GT. I mean, it makes sense. It's on your way, so.
There's a comment in chat that one of our trackers, Math Girl, saying she thinks Hitsuya is in the lead. I'm going to disagree with that, only because Azure has now gone to Death Mountain. He's going to be getting his Fire Rod here. He has an extra crystal. He's going to do GT right now. I'd say this solidly puts him in the lead right now.
So long as he gets to the hookshot cave before GT, because trying to opening up all 22 of those chests plus the big chest plus the 4 up top would just add a lot of extra time.
I'm gonna suggest we start getting guesses in chat now because I think Azure will check hookshot cave. Let's get guesses in chat 1 to 22 where everyone thinks the big key will be. Whether Azure opens the chest in hookshot cave or goes straight to GT, we will be looking for the GT big key before we go upstairs. So everyone get your guesses in. I'm going to say it's number 11. Where do you think it is, Tracy?
Let's go 5. I have no idea. I'm so bad at this.
That's okay.
Go 5. A nice slow number.
That's okay, because it's always 11. Always.
There you go. Yep, and there's that hookshot cave check.
And actually, Hitsuyin is the first to go into Ganon's Tower, so we're going to be going on his count when we do that. As you mentioned, Azure is doing the hookshot cave check. And we're going to have to close the guessing now. So guessing is closed. There's the Ether Medallion.
Am I seeing this right? He has...
Hold on. Azure is now officially at 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 52 seconds. The last of our runners in go mode.
Okay, so... Hitsuyan has not... Okay, no, it's marked now. I was beginning to wonder. I was about to ask if he's done Tower of Hera. Doing that after GT doesn't work. I mean, it does, but you wouldn't want to.
Okay, I was going based on the tracker that we had a dungeon not lit up. It looks like I might not have considered that he had a dungeon completed that we just didn't have tracked.
Yeah.
Based on what we now see, Hitsuyin is definitely in the lead.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes the tracker will do that. It will just eat an input and not take a click on something that should be marked.
It does happen. It looks like 1UP has just decided to go at 5 crystals to go because I thought he finished Meyer, but I'm not sure he's finished Eastern.
So Azure is now going to Ganon's Tower. You notice that he does not have the Skull Woods crystal yet. This is, again, perfectly normal. It is a 5/7, so he is able to go in early, and that's what he's doing today.
I'm hearing
1 out of 40 also going through Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, I missed the big key on Hitsuyan's side.
Oh, I wasn't counting either. So we're gonna have chat confirming that it is number 3. Apparently, that we found it in.
Well, he went right side, so I'm gonna guess it was in the compass room.
Yeah, so it must have been on the torch.
No, it wasn't on the torch. The torch had
oh, it was the first chest he opened in the compass room. He went to the compass room. Okay.
Yeah, which is unfortunate for Azure because he's going left side.
So I guess it was the first chest he opened in the compass room and skip tower room. Nice. So yeah, we have our 3. We didn't call it out because we were paying attention to what everyone else was doing. But let's see if we have a winner here. We do have a guess of 3. Congratulations, Orange the Yordi. You are our unofficial winner of the Big Key guessing game. Tracy, why don't you tell them what prize we got today?
Our gratitude.
Fantastic prize. Thank you for playing. Being known that Orange 1UP did do EP as well, Eastern Palace, so that's being commented in the chat. So 1UP 40 is going to be going straight to Gan after this as well.
Yeah, we know he's done Meyer. I wasn't sure about Eastern.
And Frostbite taking down the king right now. You have to gingerly remove the mask. He's a very shy monster. He doesn't like to show his face. So this is why, because it reveals a jewel on his head and he can be killed very quickly. Just protecting his beautiful face. And Lammolos 2 goes down without hardly any effort. Hitsuyin leading the race on the 5th floor right now. So it is between Hitsuyin and 1UP 40 at this point for the trip through Ganon's Tower. Azure is still looking for his big key, went the wrong way, unfortunately. That happens.
Yep, it's Hutsuyan a few rooms ahead. I was about to say, there's a lot of places you can still make mistakes, and then 1-up is the one that falls.
Whoops. Frostbite working his way through Eastern Palace now. This will be his last crystal, and he'll be on the way to Ganon's Tower. Azure will still have to do Skull Woods when he finishes Ganon's Tower himself.
Good news for Azure is that Skull Woods is super quick.
For what he needs to do, yes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Moldarm 2 falls on his inside. I don't think he checked the chest. We'll see if 1-up 40 goes to check it. Not that he needs it, but you never know. Silvers could be in there.
Yeah, silvers would be nice. The amount of time it takes to check the test, check the chest, I could see checking it just with those silvers.
Yeah, those last two especially. If the silvers are in there, that saves about a half minute of time easily. Question, where was Fire Rod? It was in Hookshot Cave today. Last chest that the runners got to. There's a double for Hitsuyan on the Aghanim 2 fight. We call it the trigonometry fight. And there's that count, I think, is a single, but we did get the second hit. So if I'm right, that was a 2-2-2. Frostbite taking out one boss. 1-up 40 is, the armor slice that is 1-up 40 doing Ganon 2 himself. Almost a triple, so close. And that counted, I think, as a double.
And we never did see those silver arrows, so.
And meanwhile, it's time for the big pig who gives us nutrition information today. Not bacon facts, but it's still nutrition information.
So Azure's going to check this room because he wants the magic fill up, not for the fairies. And he'll let up the gauntlet.
Comment in chat, Aga 2 is a trigonometry fight. Aga 1 with 15 blue balls is a trigger nominee fight.
Yeah.
And again, remember to eat your whole grain product, says Ganon. So Hitsuyan is on phase 3 right now. He's taken out the temper tantrum phase, as I like to call it, of Ganon. After a hit, it will stomp. 1-up 40 is on phase 2 now. Phase 1, Ganon just throws the trident. Phase 2, he comes up with these fireballs that turn into fire bats. Hitsuyan is waiting for Ganon to stop teleporting to get the final hit in phase 3, the ground pound temper tantrum phase. And did you find the arrows in Death Mountain? No, we did not. That's why you're telling us where they are.
In Death Mountain? What was left in Death Mountain that we didn't check?
Spike Cave? No, we saw Spike Cave.
Azure.
What is
Azure
left?
went to Spike Cave.
What was not checked? Oh, Mimic Cave.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, because apparently there's a bit of a glitch that it considers one bow the first bow and the other bow the second bow. I thought maybe it was that there was another bow available somewhere, but I don't see where that would have been. It had to be Mimic Cave, I think.
Had to be Mimic Cave. Had to be Mimic Cave.
Well, no one was going there, so.
No. Not a chance. They would have had to do all Turtle Rock to get there. Or at least half of it.
Yeah. Enough of it that you don't want to do it.
So now the fourth phase, we don't have silver, so we have to do sword spins. By logic, silver arrows are required, but you can do it without. That's why they're doing sword spins right now. And after we get enough spins, is it 12 or 24 with the gold sword?
12.
12. It is 12. Okay.
Yeah, gold sword and tempered are the same.
Hitsuyan has the 12 hits in. He's using his magic for the fire rod, burning the magic before he goes through the door, which is going to be happening momentarily. We're going to have a finish for Hitsuyan, who, as he crosses the line, did he just soft lock himself? Hitsuyan, why? He is so. Oh, he managed to get out. He got through. Okay.
Okay.
I thought he soft locked himself.
There's a dot done in the SRL.
Okay, that was kind of weird. He did finish, and I will note that his time was 1:37.27. But did he win the race? No. He came in third place today. We have 2 runners ahead of him. Before we get to who won the race, we're going to talk about this finish right now. 1-up 40 is about to cross the line. We are getting an official SRL time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 51 seconds in 4th place for 1UP40. Good finishes for both runners. All your base are belong to us. Indeed, they are. And let's get to who won the race. First of all, in 2nd place with a time of 1:34:04, Humbug with an H, Humbug H, finished 2nd place today. That's someone I'm familiar with. That's one of our newer runners, I think. And the winner of the race with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 50 seconds. Any guesses as to who won, chat? We'll tell you. It was Bonta who won the race today. Congratulations to Bonta on winning today's daily race. And we'll see if our 2 runners who finished on the stream want to come in and chat about the seed as well.
Meanwhile, we've got an interesting race going between Azure and Frostbite to finish up, since Azure still has to go finish up Skull Woods, and Frostbite just needs to finish getting up. Oh, and Azure running into trouble because he's out of magic.
And just a quick finish, or a quick update rather, on our off-stream runners. We do have a 5th and a 6th place finish. 5th place was 1:38:51 for Plasma Kappa. 6th place was Dragus with a 1:39:10. And now in 7th place, just crossing now, is 1:39:18. I Am the Schwarz. That is half of our finishers from today's race up. About 14 people. We do have 1 or 2 forfeits. We won't discuss those.
Yep, and we have both our runners in chat, in the voice chat, 1UP and Hitsuyan.
GG to both of you.
Or at least we have 1UP in there.
GG.
Oh, it looks like you got a different name in there. Okay, so it's
Yeah,
both of you
that's
in there.
that is Hitsuyan.
So
GG to both of you.
Nicely done.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, GG.
So we'll start with Hitsuyan. I have to keep remembering it's Hitsuyan, not the name I'm seeing here. What were your thoughts on today's race?
Feel like the qualifier before that you have to do Egger and the pot for 2 big items.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
and unfortunately I found the mids that leaded me long time away from the I'm not sure if that paid off for me or not.
There was one runner who had an interesting play, and when he got to the pyramid and found the power glove, he actually put the Dark World right away and did not go to Catfish for the Titans bits. The other 3 runners, you 2 and our other on-stream runner, did do the Titans bits check. So that was actually one difference he had.
Yeah,
he had a completely different route.
Yeah, we had 3 runners go and get Catfish and get the mitts. We had 1 going into Pod and getting the mirror and the hook shot. So that creates a nice divergence between the runners.
Yeah, I was thinking of maybe going into Pod, but I had like 20 rupees coming out of Agus Tower. I'm just desperately trying to find more rupees, and nothing's coming. But I guess that worked out, kind of. I don't know. I got the hook shot and mirror pretty late, it felt like, but at least I got the mitts.
Yeah, and it wasn't forced double dip because the hammer being behind the mirror anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So knowing the format question that comes to my mind, knowing it was a 5-7 GT, did thought of having to go to GT for progress ever cross your mind today?
At one point, I was starting to wonder if the hammer was going to be in GT.
Ooh.
When it showed up late, but then like I started counting crystals, and I'm like, no, it's needed for 3 of the crystals.
Yeah, we did that math at one
point. It can't
point.
be there.
Yeah, 3-7 or 4-7 that could happen, but not with a 5-7.
Yeah, same for me.
So yeah, I mean, when the hammer kept never showing up, like, I don't know, like, yeah, I wasn't thinking too much about having to go to GT.
Yeah, I think the fire rod was the last thing that could have been in there, and then you guys all found it in Hookshot Cave. So I was like, well, I guess don't need to go to GT early.
It was in the neighborhood, but just not in GT. And speaking of in the neighborhood, we had the hammer in the neighborhood of Swamp Palace. It's like everything was on the doorstep today.
I mean, it's a good position for the hammer if you have to mill
Very good.
early.
Yeah.
Very good position for the hammer. The rest of Swamp House itself was a bust, though.
Oh, nothing there. I think
Oh,
you
nice
both were in
triple for
Gumbo.
Frostbite. Nice triple on Frostbite there.
I think you both were in Gumbo. Hey, look, there's the silver arrows on Asher's side. So the silver arrows were so the okay, so there's the little thing that says where it is broken, because obviously it was referring to the bow that you all got on the old man. It's sitting there right there.
Yeah, that was not Death Mountain. That was
no.
not
Well, I mean, it's Death Mountain kind of, but it's not what you would refer to as Death Mountain. So yeah.
that would be referred to in the script as GT.
As
definitely.
GT,
Gambit's
exactly.
Tower.
Or
My tower.
Yeah, I believe
my
it's
tower,
My
as he
Tower.
would say it. So yeah, that bug is clearly in play because the other bow was located. Where was the bow located?
It was Old Man.
Old Man, yeah, that's Death Mountain. So
man.
it was referring to the Old Man bow, and that was the one that would have been deemed the silver arrows. It looks like,
which is backwards.
Yeah, that's not right because you couldn't get that one. Geez, that's a mess.
Yeah. Well, we'll let our programmers deal with it. They'll
yeah.
It's such a minor point. So yeah, none of you. I mean, you guys just once you got your big key, didn't even check any of those chests. Do you even consider at that point?
These days, I don't know. Like I've had times before where you start checking just the chest here and there just in case, and then I don't know. I find a lot of the time it just leads to opening a bunch of chests and not actually getting anything and wasting a lot of time. So
sure. Yeah, it's that one item that you might want, or that one luxury item.
Yeah, especially when you start counting like all the chests I skipped in like swamp and ice and everywhere.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
probably not
absolutely.
a good chance of it being there. Although I guess I was wrong in this case, so.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, the time save that silver arrows are is not going to be enough for something like left side swamp for sure.
No, that wouldn't
definitely.
be. I was making a comment as we were growing up GT. I'm thinking, well, they don't have the silver arrows yet. It would be nice to get those and those two chests along the way at the very end. They're quick checks. You're going to walk by them anyway. Just turn for a second, check them. The same time save is worth it for the 1 second it takes. And boom, there it was. I feel like a witch now.
Yeah, but Azure unfortunately still has to defeat Skullwoods before he can head over to Ganon.
Meanwhile, Frostbite, sticking with our current races for a moment here, Frostbite did finish. He is the next finisher. I mentioned I am the Schwartz was 7th. There were no finishers for a while until now. Frostbite 30-30, 8th place with a 145.16. Get your GGs in chat for him, and we have Azure still going to Skullwoods before he can go to defeat the Big Pig.
It is a little weird to see Skullwoods after GT.
It is.
I guess get used to it now. Yeah, it's the new mode.
It is, but at the same time, I still remember some seeds where Master Sword was not found by the time he finished Ganon's Tower.
Yep,
those are disgusting, by the way.
Oh,
those are disgusting. I made a bunch of clips from one race that demonstrated this a couple years ago in another tournament. But yeah, it is very possible that swords could be outside GT, even a 7-7. So, and not found. So that in that scenario, you can see dungeons or other checks. In the race I'm thinking of, it was actually in K45. That was the second sword after finishing GT.
Ooh,
and
in the meantime, joining us now is Frostbite. How you doing, Frostbite?
I hate this seed.
Okay,
did you play last night's seed? This was much better.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I would ask the first question, but you've already answered it. How would you like this seed today?
Yeah, well, I just took some notes. I last located the flippers. I last located the lamp. I last located the mirror and hook shot in pod. And then I didn't quite last locate the hammer because I didn't go back after I skipped the bow for 9 hours. I didn't go back to pod and Eastern because I was going to forfeit if the hammer was behind the bow in pod because I had a bottle when I went to pod the first time. So I was going to, if it wasn't on goddamn Bombo's tablet, I was going to dive swamp, dive ice, and then if I hadn't had it by then, I was going to quit because it was in pod. Or I guess it was in Eastern, but I mean, I made every wrong choice. Like I got the Moon Pearl fairly early, but that did nothing. Went into desert multiple times. I didn't by not going into. I mean, basically, this thing came down to: did you go to pod after Aga, or did you not go to pod after Aga? Because if you went to pod after Aga, like if you had the bow, if you weren't a moron like me, you basically had an absolutely free seed because you would have the book and you'd check the tablet when you're going around towards Head Cave. But if you didn't have that stuff, you had absolutely isolated the book in a horrible scenario where you have to go down there with the myth. And of course, the only 2 crystals you can clear basically are the stupid Pyramid Fairy crystals. So I'm thinking, oh, there's got to be Hammer on Pyramid Fairy. I'm chat, right? So, like, I mean, I don't know. I hated this seed, though. Like, I hated it from the start. I hated it when I, found the bow, basically. That was when I was like, oh, great. Because, like, I knew the progression had to be in Spectacle Rock Cave because it was the only spot I had available. So I decided not to return the old man, even though I very easily could have, because I knew he couldn't have what I needed at the moment. And then, of course, basically that decision cost me any chance at placing well in this race. So, but no, I don't know. I mean, it was fine. I laughed out loud at the myths. I laughed out loud when I found the hookshot and, well, of course, both the hookshot and mirror in the back of pod because that makes sense. Let's just put everything in the same sphere. I think every single thing you needed for Go mode was in the same sphere, basically. In the Dark World, everything was accessible once you cleared Aga if you got the bow. It was just a very free seed that I did not play particularly well.
So
I'm just following Azure. I want to stop because Azur's about to finish here.
He ran out of arrows.
Yeah, he ran out of arrows. Had to do some spin slashes to finish the game.
Well,
They finished the Ganon fight with 0 arrows, and he is about to cross the bridge. Let's just cover his finish very quickly.
Yeah, no problem.
And he does finish with a 149.13 in 9th place. So just to sum up what you said there, Frostbite, you like that?
Yeah, well, that's funny that he ran out of arrows because I didn't have any arrows. I had 0 arrows when I got out of the Mimic Group, and I was going to not pick any up. But then I was like, what if the silver arrows are at the top of Ganon's tower? And of course, they were. So
you don't know. You don't know one thing. You don't know one thing that Azure did yet, and if he wants to join us, I will be asking him the question as to why he did this thing that none of you did. So we'll see if Azure wants to join us in a moment here, because you think that you did everything wrong, Frostbite. There was one thing he didn't do that you're going to be happy you did.
He went to Pod, but did not go to Catfish.
Okay.
God, yeah. Well, that's funny. But, I mean, the fact that he's done after me means he had to have a worse run than me because he's a better player than me. So if we'd had a similar run, he would beat me by a couple minutes. So
the routing was a bit different, though. I mean, because it took him a while to get back to Catfish. He ended up full clear. He didn't know. He ended up full clearing Swamp, which slowed him down quite a bit. That was.
That makes sense though, because you get all that good stuff in Pod, and the incentive to go to Catfish after that isn't so great, right? So.
Let me wrap up our top. Let me wrap up our top 10. One more finish. Salty Fry was our 10th place finisher. We'll wrap up the top 10 with a 150.06 today. So that's our top 10 today. Get your GGs in chat for all of them. And we are waiting to see if Azure will join us. I'm not sure if he will or not. He has not responded to me and SRL yet, so I don't know if he's joining us or not yet.
I have to head out, guys. Thanks for commentating, tracking, picking me up.
No problem.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks for a good race.
No problem. Congratulations on a great finish. 3rd place today. Congratulations on that.
That end between you and 1UP was pretty darn close, so it's pretty neat to see that.
Feel free.
Us one time a good seed, please.
Feel free to go back to WoW Classic and stop farming me, Hitsu. GG's, buddy.
Peace first. See you guys.
And that was Hitsuya, who was our 3rd place finisher today. And while we're waiting to see if Azure wants to join us, do you guys have any other thoughts on the seed you want to discuss?
Yeah, it's swords and hearts, right? That's all it was. All I found was swords and hearts. I'm looking for all these items. I just keep finding swords and hearts, and they don't really do that much.
Yep. No, not much.
Yeah, but I mean, it was
except Aga,
Yeah, exactly. It was a fine seed though. I mean, it was just like any rando seed. If you pick up the items in the wrong order, or if you miss one thing, you are blown away by the times that people get. But then if you look at it and you say, well, yeah. If you'd just gone to Pod and then to Catfish after Pod, all you had after that was the hammer that you would need, I think, right? So
yeah, pretty much.
It was very available. But yeah, I mean, it was I routed silly. I would never go to Eastern Palace right away as early as I did in a race that not that I don't care about it, but if this was a qualifier, I wouldn't have made that play.
Well, there is a difference.
Yeah, well, and
one of these.
You're gonna pick a meme mode 5-7. I'm gonna make meme routes. So like,
That's
That's
fair.
the only sad part though, is that because I'm assuming everyone had hammer go mode except with the exception of probably Aster. It made the GT thing not even a possibility, really, right? So
yeah.
And even if he did have, he might have even still had hammer go mode. I can't remember who like.
Yeah, he had fire rod go mode.
Where was that again?
Hookshot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I guess that was the other thing you would have had to have had.
I mean, the things he avoided. He didn't dip desert. I think the rest of you all dipped desert.
Yeah.
He didn't. I shouldn't say dip. I think you all checked it early, but he didn't go there after Meyer. I think the rest of you went there after Meyer.
Yeah.
He didn't check all. He didn't full clear ice. We were a little worried that he might because he went there before he went up the mountain.
Yeah.
And he didn't do the Smith's chain, so he did avoid a few things, but he did full clear swamp, and full clearing swamp and getting nothing is just feels bad.
Well, especially when you get to the end and you sort of are thinking about it, and you're like, a lot of people are going to end up with hammer go mode, and they're not going to check anything in swamp, right? So
yeah.
But I see, like, I'm not surprised that most of us went to desert because I was following the logic chain that the flute had to be something, and I mean, I didn't have much left other than Meyer, so I was assuming that the boots had to essentially be directly blocking what I was looking for, and so desert was right there, and the other boot spots are a little bit annoying to get to once you have defeated Aghanim and you're in the Dark World, so I decided to do that afterwards. But yeah, it was fine. I mean, I would have liked to get the boots a little bit earlier. I would have liked to have gone to pod a lot earlier. But I mean, I guess I'm happy that we didn't have the opportunity to go to Ganon's Tower because it's always super annoying. It takes so long to get to, and then if you don't find what you want in the basement, it's like, am I gonna do tower room now? Am I gonna climb now? Like it's like it's a lot of sort of annoyances. Now, if you can climb, it's not really that big a deal if you have to climb because it's not a fast Ganon mode, but it still is annoying. But
you still have to kill Agatu anyway, so
exactly.
It's not like you're losing a ton of time. But the only bad thing is then you end up back on top of the pyramid, and you have to get to wherever you need to get to.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've left your thing in, like, I don't know, maybe Tau room, and you have to go back up there. It takes a long time to do it. Not that I would have ever done that before, but yeah, like it was. It is what it is. I mean, it was a pretty linear seed, with the exception of like I mean, not necessarily in logic, but sort of in the way you would get the items. I feel like if you went to pod and did catfish, and like it would sort of lead to itself. But catfish is a crappy spot, and honestly, I was so surprised to see the gloves on pyramid, and I didn't really want to go to pod because I think I had exactly 110 rupees at that point.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
And so I was like, do I want to go there? I know this will be the time I run into that stupid thing, and I'll have no money to get into pod and be farming for pod, just like I was farming for Zora because I didn't have enough money to buy that item either. So like. And you're always thinking back, that big 20 I skipped, I think it was at the dam? That would have been really smart to pick up. When 17 rupees short for Zora, and it's the only item available for logic.
Oh, I forget. Were you the one that picked up the 20 rupees? It was one runner, and I don't remember who picked up the 20 rupees on the ledge and had to go.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that was him. That was him. He did the... we might have to clip that later. He had to pick up the 20 rupees, then walk all the way back around to get the item.
Yeah, like I only did that because I knew it had to be the progression on Zora. Like if I was just up there normally with, like say I fake flippered up there earlier or something like that, I would have definitely not checked Zora like that. I mean, I couldn't have. I mean, I guess if I'd had the bow, I could have done the new Ancilla stuff, but I'm not going to do that either. But to get the big 20, but no, it was annoying. It was just funny from the start. I felt, I don't know.
And it was super annoying to check that too, because you get up, you do that second walk around, and they're like, "Oh, here you can now light the way, my fair soldier."
I know. You wanted it to be a glove. That's what you would.
Well,
then it opens up chat, but it's a lamp. It's like you have to go to Aga.
Well, and I had stuff that I could have done, but I'm thinking I could have checked all this stuff without the lamp, you know? Like, I could have done that walkthrough to get the chest in the middle. I mean, I never did end up getting the big key chest in Eastern. I mean, I'll do Agate Dark if I'd have known the lamp was there, I probably would have not even bothered getting it, just because money was such an issue for me. And I had so much health, and I had Tempered Sword. I would not have been too concerned about going through Agate Tower in the dark at that point, even without the fire rod. It might have taken a while, but I don't think I would have died. Yeah, it was funny. I don't know. The myths were really funny. I laughed for like 30 seconds after I found the myths. It was very hard to keep going.
I was kind of laughing at the lamp.
Yeah, well, I was angry about the lamp. You guys
I was expecting the lamp. I mean, I knew it was either the lamp or something that led to the lamp or the mitts at that point, or not the mitts, the gloves.
Glove, yeah. Well, that's what I.
Hammer. That doesn't open anything.
No, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's just all the things. It's everything I had at the end was so slow. It's like, oh, I can go in the mitts world and I can check, Graveyard Ledge, and then I can check the powder hole, and then I can check all these Bombos tablets, Pyramid Fairy, and they're all terrible when you don't have the hammer. So, anyways, I'm going to get out of here as well. GG's to everyone, Azure 1UP, and Hitsu on the restream, and Cyclone and Tracy, thanks for the call. And I think, what is it, Matt Girl and Ken doing tracking today? Show it to them as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, thank you, Frostbite.
Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
And 1UP40 also just left. So thank you to all the runners. Congratulations on your finishes today. Azure will not be joining us, by the way, so we will not be hearing from him today. I just went ahead and wished him a GG, of course, for the finish today as well. So we won't get to hear any thoughts behind the play that he made on skipping Catfish for a while there. Anyway, we should talk about what's coming up on the schedule here today. Very, very light day, I believe. I'm just going to verify that. It's a very, very light day here on Speed Gaming.
We do have another daily race. Be almost the same as what we did, except instead of open, it's going to be standard mode, which means you have to do the Zelda rescue and escape. So
and that means Uncle's guaranteed to have some kind of a weapon. We just don't know if it's going to be a sword like he did today.
Or it could just be bombs.
Yeah, it could be a 10 bomb pack, and you're just like, good luck.
Yeah, which is always interesting.
Waste your bombs. So yeah, that is something that will be coming up this evening, 9 o'clock Eastern time this evening. Keep an eye out for that. That is the only other event on Speed Gaming today, coincidentally enough, at least currently scheduled. I don't think there's a Zelda 1 randomized race. I think that's tomorrow that we have a race. I think that was on Randomania. So yeah, we won't worry about that because the series that's going to come for that will be on the weekend to Speed Gaming. We do have tomorrow, we do have some Hollow Knight starting at 2 o'clock Eastern time. There's, of course, more Legend of Zelda daily race action. As well. Other events coming up over the rest of the weekend. I mentioned the Zelda 1 randomizer semifinal race coming on the weekend. In fact, let me see if I can get that up very quickly to confirm. Over the weekend, 5 o'clock. Let's try that again. 3 o'clock on today is Wednesday, so 3 o'clock on Friday Eastern time. RC Drone versus Thurwolf. That will be the Zelda 1 randomizer semifinal, which will be coming on Saturday and Sunday. Game number 3 will be on Sunday if necessary, but games number 1 and 2 will be on Saturday, 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So that's something you can keep an eye out for this weekend. Other than that, very, very light schedule, as I was saying. The Hollow Knight, there's some Hollow Knight races. Check speedgaming.org/schedule for information on all those. There is a Metroid Prime randomizer at 10 o'clock on Friday night that's going to be coming up. And a Mario Maker 2 weekly on the weekend, as well as Super Metroid Double Anti-Bingo weekly action. So keep an eye out for all that. Super Mario Bros. 3 randomizer weekly race that evening, Saturday night. So that's just a sample of some other things you can find here on Speed Gaming. Make sure you follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6, as well as all of our language channels as well, if you follow any of those languages. And you can follow all that action as it comes on, know where everything is as it comes on. Any last thoughts from you, Tracy, before we wrap up?
Well, I'd like to pitch some of my own things because I'm big into the Super Metroid community. We do have on Sunday, we will have races. A league Super Metroid Randomizer League race at 1 o'clock. Right now we have just one race. It could end up being 2. We have Android Dreams versus Toasty, and at 7 o'clock we will have some sort of boss order randomizer. We have not decided yet whether it's going to be Major Minor Split, Chozo, or full, but that will happen at 7 o'clock on Sunday as per usual. And of course, in between those, and I really like when Speed Gaming does this. They like to put the SMZ3 race right in between, all on the same channel. That would be at 3 o'clock Eastern. So all those right in a row. Fun just to put your Twitch on that one, whatever Speed Gaming channel those are on, and just enjoy Sunday. So
Yeah, Super Metroid all day, every week. So there you go. That's a good way for Super Metroid fans to spend their time watching several different unique races of different types for the entire day. Good way to spend the day, I would say, if you're a Super Metroid fan.
Yep.
So definitely
and
keep an eye
Zelda
out for
mixed
that
in.
if you. And a little Zelda mixed in, yeah, for the
A
in
little
one
bit
case.
of Zelda mixed in. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So good way to spend your day, especially if you're a Super Metroid fan. A little bit if you're a Zelda fan, because that's mixed in one race. But yeah, feel free to check that out if that interests you at all as well. Other than that, I think we're pretty much done here. Make sure you follow the runners as well. Let's not forget them. Frostbite 3030, Hitsuyan 1337, Astor, and 1UP40. Their links are exactly as you would expect them to be based on the names you see on the screen. So if you go to, for those of you watching on YouTube, you can get to their channels going to twitch.tv/ any of those 4 names. And the same for the Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6 channels as well. You can get to those channels the same way if you want to join us live. Make sure you also follow our trackers who were, and I'm going to quote this carefully.
They do the hard work.
MathGirl718, that's math_girl718, and Link to the Past Ken, which is all one word. Link to the Past Ken. My co-commentator was Tracy M. I'm Cyclone or Cyclone GU. And the most important people in this whole thing I want to say are you, the viewers on YouTube, and the viewers here in our live chat, especially. If it weren't for any of you, we'd just be sitting here talking to ourselves. So thank you for watching us do that. And we will see you for, I just want to remind you that we do have the Link to the Past qualifiers coming up as well. I think the next qualifier is Friday night, I think at 8:15 p.m. So make sure you come back for that, but also check out our other daily races coming up in the next couple days as well. They do happen Monday to Friday. Make sure you check out the races in that series. A lot of fun, a lot of neat modes that we do have, and you can keep an eye on all of the exciting action, see some new up-and-coming runners, and some of the tournament runners as well. I just did a quick double check, by the way, looking at the tournament schedule. The tournament does show November 8th. Actually, 11:15. I had the time wrong. November 8th, 11:15 p.m. Eastern Time. So that is the next race on Friday night, 11:15 p.m. Keep an eye out for that for the tournament for Link to the Past Randomizer as well. We have some big crowds for those races, so that should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. We've had some entries in the 100. Well, maybe not. Like, exactly
199,
101.
101. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can't restream all of them because I would just give us commentators a huge headache.
Exactly.
But it's cool to see that many people coming out to play.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and I will say my goodbye here. May not all your seats be pedals. We'll see you, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you have a good afternoon. See you for the next one. Tracy, you get the final word. Have a good day, everyone.
Yep. And as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you may be.